distance. Ain't no telling what I just may do. I've been vibing, minding my business. Throw one up if you can relate to. Said if I ain't got it, I make do. Can't be stuck waiting on a breakthrough. And I don't need everybody praying for him. Ain't no telling who you niggas pray to.
YouTube, what it do? Welcome back. It's another episode of D's Corner. I'm your host, D, where I got you covered with all your NFL talk. Do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. It does me a lot, does you a little, and I appreciate it. So today's video, we're going to talk about free agency. In the midst of me recording this video, Myles Garrett has re-signed with the Cleveland Browns. I think he got $40 million a year, 140 something guaranteed or something crazy like that, which is understandable because of who he is as a player. I guess he does. I guess the money does matter. Winning maybe not so much. Be on the lookout Mondays, mock draft Monday. Again, like, share, subscribe. We're going to jump into the video. Who we have for free agency. It's getting ready to be the free agency frenzy starting Tuesday. Tomorrow, I believe, is the tampering period. So, first up, EJ Speed. I want to go ahead and preference this video, let you guys know it's not going to be all of the most commonly talked about free agents as well. Threw a little wild cards here. One of them being EJ Speed. Really good linebacker, productive linebacker for the Indianapolis Colts. Can chase, can tackle, can cover. I think he had 142 tackles this past season. Teams I could see him on or teams that should be interested, the Dallas Cowboys, their defensive coordinators, the Colts' former defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus. Kansas City may get priced out of the Nick Bolton price range, so they could be looking to replace him. I think EJ Speed would fit well with Spag's defensive scheme. Also, Mike McDonald for the Seattle Seahawks needs linebackers, with Ernest Jones being a free agent. Could possibly sign them both. The New York Jets. I like the New York Jets. I like Aaron Glenn's defensive scheme. Like Steve Wilks, they're used to having athletic linebackers. Jack Campbell, Shaq Mason, respectfully, for the Lions and the Panthers. I think EJ Speed will be a good pickup for them, and I think the Jets are going to try to build their team defensively through free agency. CJ Mosley is a bit older, so my prediction is that EJ signs with the New York Jets. All right. Next up, we got Cam Robinson, who may be the tackle of the ball, if you will, with Ronnie Stanley re-signing with the Baltimore Ravens. A few teams I could see interested in Cam are the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chicago Bears, as well as the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots have the most money, will make the most sense. They're able to offer him the most. The Chicago Bears would make sense as well because they've already traded for Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson to man their guard positions. I think if you build with a veteran-led offensive line, that only benefits Caleb Moore, as well as allows you to make some serious moves with that 10th overall pick. And this is a pretty deep offensive line draft. You could possibly find another player to compete or learn behind Cam in the second round. Kansas City, they need a left tackle. We witnessed this in the Super Bowl. Going to have to invest in that offensive line. Pittsburgh Steelers, their trenches just have not been what the Steelers are used to being. But I have Cam signing with the Patriots. I think the Patriots, if you go ahead and beef up your offensive line to the best of your ability, they can possibly go best player available in the draft. Could be Abdul Carter, could be Travis Hunter. We'll see where they go and how that goes moving forward. But before free agency, I like Cam Robinson with the Patriots. Next up, Charvarius Ward, the corner from the San Francisco 49ers. I think he'll have a robust market, is a really good man-to-man cover corner. Green Bay could possibly release or trade Jair Alexander. Eric Stokes is a free agent. Charvarius Ward would be a great pickup for them, and you are weakening a conference foe. The Indianapolis Colts, they need secondary. They need a number one corner, someone who can travel, someone who can follow the opposing team's number one wide receiver. I think Ward is that. Same thing with the New England Patriots. Pairing Ward with Christian Gonzalez, I think, will give you a dynamic duo at cornerback position. Kansas City is a place that I like. Charvarius Ward had some family issues, some family things that took place. Not big to talk about people's personal, but I've seen reports that because of what he had take place in California, that he wants to come back to the East Coast, or I guess get out of California altogether. New York is as far east from California as you can go. Pairing Ward and Sauce Gardner would be a nasty, nasty tandem. Gives you a lot to work with defensively. We know what Aaron Glenn can do when he has people that he's picking up off of the free agent market during the season, people that he's picking up off their couches and whatnot. But overall, I think that Ward will sign back with the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy's had some family issues take place. They've had some things go on, but I think Ward getting back to Kansas City, the Chiefs kingdom, that family that he had there where he won a Super Bowl and was drafted, I think Ward will end up back with the Chiefs. Javon Holland, safety from the Dolphins. There should be a big market for Javon. It's not really a huge defense back class, especially in the safety room. The Raiders, the Panthers, the Jets, the Bills, and the Vikings, all these make sense for Javon. The Raiders, they're going to possibly lose Trayvon Moehrig. The Panthers, they just need defensive help, someone to go in that secondary with Joe Horn. The Jets make beautiful sense to me because Holland is a similar player to Brian Branch, able to play down in the box, over high, move around, blitz. Aaron Glenn would definitely know how to use him. Same thing for the Buffalo Bills. Taylor Rapp and DeVar Hamlin are not they're not a great duo. Rapp is all right. Hamlin did not have a good season this year, and he's a free agent. But what makes most sense to me, and my prediction is that Javon will sign with the Minnesota Vikings. Brian Flores is the coach that drafted him. He had some of his best years under Brian Flores. Coming in, the Vikings will need someone to replace Harrison Smith, who's getting up there in age. Cam Bynum, who's a free agent. Javon Holland looks diminished a bit due to injuries a couple seasons ago, but he's still young enough to bounce back. So I think the Vikings make the perfect sense for Javon. Next up, Nick Bolton, the linebacker from the Kansas City Chiefs. His market should be crazy. San Francisco, pairing him with Fred Warner would be phenomenal on that defensive side of the ball. And they're talking about signing Joey Bosa now to pair him and Nick Bosa together. Re-signing with the Chiefs is obviously a possibility. In my opinion, they could possibly get phased out money-wise. I think we'll start seeing later on to the next 2 evenings before free agency starts. We're going to start seeing some re-signings and restructures out in Kansas City to try to get as much cap space as possible. They don't want to lose their quarterback of the defense in Nick Bolton. The New York Jets make a ton of sense. You want to get that pedigree in there. Nick Bolton has been a winner since he's been in the league. He's been productive since he's been in the league. He doesn't do a lot of talking, but his play on the field is loud, and I think that's a ball player that Aaron Glenn would love to have on his defense. The Indianapolis Colts could possibly lose EJ Speed. Zaire Alexander is more of a liability in coverage, and I think Nick Bolton would be perfect for what we're working with in Indy defensively. The Raiders, this would just make sense to weaken the Kansas City Chiefs and their hold on the division. Cincinnati could possibly be trading Jermaine Pratt, could need some defensive help, some defensive firepower, and they're talking about trading Trey Hendricks as well. The Falcons could use the middle linebacker as well as the Rams. Nick Bolton is still young. Putting him on the Rams with that edge rush that they have with Jared Verse, Brian Young, and Braden Fisk, that defense was already coming along very well last season. Nick Bolton would make it a top-notch defense. But ultimately, my prediction is I think that Nick Bolton's going to re-sign with the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to do some moving around. They're going to try to keep their pillars. They kept Chris Jones. Kelsey's coming back. Mahomes is on a 10-year deal. They're going to do what they can, I believe, to get Nick Bolton back. Now, this is really the bell of the ball, and especially with the quarterback being the most important position on the team. Sam Darnold. Seattle Seahawks just traded away Geno Smith to the Raiders, who were possibly looking at Sam Darnold. The Cleveland Browns restructured. Deshaun Watson re-signed Myles Garrett. Not sure what their cap space is and if they'll even have the ability to get Sam Darnold. Minnesota Vikings make sense to bring him back. That's where he played his best. And the New York Giants, they need a quarterback. This will allow them to draft best player available at 3. I do not think that Sam would want to go back to New York, but money talks. Ultimately, I think he will sign with the Seattle Seahawks. It's already been reported that this is their number 1 target, and they believe that they can possibly keep DK Metcalf if they're able to sign Sam Darnold. What that means about Sam Howell, not really sure. Not really. I guess he's just going to be their backup, possibly maybe trade bait, or could be released if they're going and focusing on Sam Darnold. Justin Reed, the safety from the Chiefs, is also their quarterback on that back end. He does a lot of the communication, a lot of the gritty plays, very effective, very sound defensive tackler, and really has, like, everywhere that he's been, even in Houston and now with Kansas City, he has been a linchpin back there in that secondary, keeping things together, being able to make the plays, the communication and everything, his instincts, his football IQ, all of that is off the charts. And I think this is why the Raiders, the Colts, the Jets, the Panthers, and the Bills should all have him on their free agency board. Ultimately, I think Justin has already been a Super Bowl champ. He's already won. He's been a winner. Now he wants to probably get paid. And I think team that can do the most right here, New York Jets. The Jets, like I said, I believe they're going to try to fill what they can defensively through free agency, being selective with their picks in free agency. But I definitely think in the draft is where they're going to try to build this offense up. Najee Harris, running back from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Running back market, see how it goes. We're not really sure. Saquon got paid again after doing what he did in the Super Bowl, almost breaking Eric Dickerson's rushing record. Najee Harris is a player that I like for the Cowboys, the Raiders, and the Vikings. I think Dallas, again, I'm not sure that they'll do any spending. They missed out on another big back, 22, from Alabama with Derrick Henry last year. Now, would they want to try to sign Najee? Not sure. The Raiders makes a lot of sense. Chip Kelly's offense. Najee is an explosive runner. I want to say he averaged 4 yards a carry. Pairing him with another back through the draft, either Quinshon Judkins or Travion Henderson, would be a really good move for the Raiders and the Vikings. Aaron Jones is a free agent. Not sure if they'll bring him back or not. Ultimately, though, my prediction is that Najee's going to sign with the Raiders. He is a Cali kid. Grew up there. He's got a great story. If you can check and watch his story, what he's went through, what he's gone through, and how he gives back to the California area, I think the Raiders are a perfect fit for Najee Harris. And last up, I have the Justin Fields of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Some teams that I think should be interested. Seattle Seahawks, right now they need a quarterback. The Indianapolis Colts also said that they were going to bring in competition for Anthony Richardson. In my opinion, that means you're going to get someone cheap, because ultimately you're still going to try to give Richardson the nod because you invested in him with the 4th overall pick. Justin Fields has a very similar skill set, very similar build, and showed last year that he was able to be efficient learning under Russell Wilson and within the Pittsburgh Steelers system. How would that translate to Shane Steichen's system? In my opinion, you don't have to go and get a different caliber quarterback like they had with AR and Joe Flacco, to where now we're doing different offensive plays and doing all this. We can stay true to who we are, having an athletic quarterback, having a runner and all that. Real quick, another player I could see for the Colts trading for would be Joe Milton from the Patriots. He's a 6-year, was in college for 5 or 6 years with the COVID year. Big like Anthony Richardson, can throw like Anthony Richardson, but has way more experience than Anthony Richardson. And we saw him in a little bit of spurts here and there do very well as, with the New England Patriots last year. The New York Jets, they're said to be high on Justin Fields. Getting Justin Fields, surrounding him with playmakers, being able to utilize his legs could definitely be the route that the Jets go. They're not probably going to want to trade up to get a Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. You don't want to lose draft capital when you're starting out and trying to build this team the right way. Ultimately, I think that Justin will sign with the New York Jets. I think Justin wants to be a starter. I think the Jets give him the best opportunity to be a starter. He'll be able to compete. He'll be able to have a nice, solid offense around him. Garrett Wilson, another Ohio State kid. Breece Hall in the running back. Then this allows them at the draft to go best player available. Could be a player like Tyler Warren from Penn State. Would definitely, the tight end is the quarterback's best friend. Definitely want to give Justin the best, give him the best opportunity to put his best foot forward for you and your organization. So again, guys, that was what I got so far for free agency. Stay tuned. Mock Draft Monday coming up. I have the second part of my offseason outlook for the AFC dropping as well. Also, I'll do some free agency grades and my reactions to some of the picks. I appreciate you guys. Do me a favor again, like, share, subscribe. Does me a lot, does you nothing, but I appreciate it anyways. Y'all have a good week.
Spazzing on the beat, they think I'm crazy. Got it under control, babe. You don't want smoke, all you see is the same.
LB tapping, keys in making waves. Ayy.
Step back, keep your distance. Ain't no telling what I just may do. I been vibing, minding my business. Throw one up if you can relate to. Said if I ain't got it, I make do. Can't be stuck waiting on a breakthrough. And I don't need everybody praying for me. Ain't no telling who you niggas pray to.